Hello, hello, everybody. What is going on? AJ the CEO here. Thank you so much for stopping by. We try and do this every single Friday to where we help answer your questions in media ministry. And hey, I try to make your trip a little bit easier. I don't know everything, but I try and share what I do know. Thank you so much for watching and stopping by. You see, I'm almost got everything set up. Almost got everything set up. Let me take a half a second here just to make sure my audio is fine. All right. Woo, excuse me. Thank you so much for stopping by, folks. I'm seeing a bunch of y'all in the chat. Let's get the formalities out the way. If I don't get to your question, folks, know that you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. I do have a couple of emails that I need to respond. I probably will try and respond to them here on this live stream as best as I possibly can. This Sunday, we have another bi-weekly roundtable where we just sit down with other media ministries and we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we get some encouragement from each other from media ministries all over the world. It's very easy for you to join that. Just join the Facebook group. Go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions. Don't you dare try to live stream inside the group, and you're in, and the information is there in the group to dial in. It is open for anybody to talk there. And before we start giving shout outs, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because that's the only way that you can leave comments on this type of video. And then make sure you have the bell notification on. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos. And I think I'm going to start this off early because I haven't been doing this. So my apologies. And hopefully this works now. We want to thank all our subscribers, patrons, supporters, and YouTube members. You too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, or you can click the join button right below here on YouTube and you can become a YouTube member. You get benefits for that. You get shout out like this. You get your name entered multiple times when we do giveaways every time we reach a new level. You also, a lot of people haven't been using this. Dean used this the other day, but as a top tier supporter, you get a free consultation with me once a month for 1 hour. Normally that's a $100 fee that I do for consultations. But hey, as a supporter and being able to thank you, that's what we do. Also, all members, Patreon supporters, and members have a discount code to get 25% off on any type of thing with me from a consultation standpoint. So that saves you a few dollars there. So now that we got all that out the way and my lower thirds and everything works, let's go ahead and holler at some folks here. Parker, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. Adam, hello, hello. Mr. Clarence, I saw your question, sir, and I'm going to get back to you. Thank you. Darius, what's going on? Rhonda, hello, hello, hello. Anthony, what's going on, sir? Mitch Roy, what is going on? Monty, the myth, the man, the legend, what's going on? Monty, I sent you a message. I'm going to be back at New Hope next Sunday. We're going up to celebrate Signs and Wonders is getting ready to go up there next Sunday to celebrate the anniversary. So I'll be up there in the area. Let me know. I can probably just stay around. We're taking a bus up there, but I can drive up there and then we can catch up after the service if you want to. Coach, what is going on? Towler Media, hello, hello. Thanks for joining. TR, what's going on? Won't show on the tablet, but hey, I'm glad you're here. Let's see. AJay the CEO. Hey, thanks for joining. Streets of Destiny. Hello from chiming in from Phoenix, Arizona. Damien, what's going on from Florida? Pastor Isaac. Hello, hello. We were at his church in North Carolina doing a lot of work. I didn't do that video yet because I didn't finish up everything. We got everything done. We got to do the speakers, so we're going to be setting it up to go back down. And who is sending me a message on my phone right now? I did have my phone on mute. Okay, my package was delivered. I need to go do that. Pick that up. Keith, what's going on? Mike, hello, hello. Anthony Johnson, what is going on? Jaquil Curry, hello, hello. MA16V3, what's going on? Sandra. Hello, hello. I'm gonna get to y'all's questions. Ray B, what's going on? Bruce, man, you was tearing up my content, man. I appreciate it. Bangaroon, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but hello, hello. Thanks for joining. And Dean, what is going on, folks? Again, thank you so much. So, hey, we're here to answer some questions. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I see some folks on here, so we're gonna jump in and show you some stuff because I've been learning a lot of stuff. And hey, everything when I go to Vid Summit at the end of this month, I'm actually gonna obviously I ain't keeping that information to myself. I'm going there to learn from the top folks in YouTube what they're learning, and then we do a spin of it and how we can implement it in our media ministries. Because contrary to popular belief, there's a lot of stuff that ministries can learn from the people who have been hammering out and knocking out social media, and that's what we try to do to implement that stuff. So let me go back and answer a few questions here. Let me see. I think Mr. Clarence had the first question, and let me open up a browser over here so we can go. AJ, looking to build a small form factor desktop general use. Any recommendations, motherboard? Well, we got a couple of them, and let's see. Let's go ahead and build this out. And it looks like Facebook is getting ready to, not Facebook, YouTube is about ready to insert an ad, folks, just letting you know. Whew. All right, so if we were doing general purpose system, let's go ahead and build something out. Now, there are a couple of systems you could use. And again, if it's general purpose, I've used some of these before. If you're trying to have it really built in and fanless or something like that, you could get one of these. And I'm partial to the AMD ones just because from a power standpoint. And let's see what we can do with a, so you're starting off some of these with a Ryzen 5 at around like $319. That is a beast of a system in such a small form factor, 16 gigs of memory. This will get you good. I think the only thing you got to do is provide, actually this has a hard drive in it as well too. So, it's already put together for you. Something like this, I've used something like this before. I've actually put something smaller at Union Grove, which I need to get back and finish their security cameras and run some new SDI cables up under the floor because they had an electrical issue that fried their ATEM and a bunch of other stuff. And why is my nose itch? So I'm sorry if I'm sniffling or something like that. I feel like I got to sneeze. But I will provide a link to this one. This one is looking good. You just got to go in and you can always update the hard drive if you want something bigger. Now, if you were trying to build it from scratch, I think that was your original question there, Mr. Clarence. So if you were looking for an ITX motherboard to get it as small as possible, man, I might need to get a tissue. Why in the world all of a sudden? Let me see. Let's go here. And again, I've built some of these, and it's gonna be kind of hard to get them really, really, really small, but you can get something like this. This is what I used to do in my original video. Where is it at? It was and I think it was on streaming PC. I'm trying to think which system it was. It was a long time ago where I built something like this, and this was actually the system that I rebuilt and I turned into something at Signs and Wonders. I actually changed it to the administration computer. There it is. This was the smallest system I was able to put together, and this was back in the day videos here. So that was kind of the system that I worked with. and it was this tiny, and that was actually the ASRock, the same type of board, and that was a A320. But this is the smallest I was able to get that in to give me space. They gave me a full size one. If you don't want something this small, I think that case is still available. I'll put a link to this, and honestly, all of the stuff will work with this. You just got to be mindful that the case only allows a certain type of headroom for the processor and the fan. So this will work, and that would give something good. You get an APU, a Ryzen 5, 5600G. That's more than enough power that you need for that, and a ITX motherboard, and then get any type of ITX case. You don't have to worry about a graphics card because it's built into the CPU, 16 gigs of memory, a 512 gigabyte NVMe, and you are good to go. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Let's go to page 2 here. MA16 was saying, I'm starting Friday off right, off of work for the day, checking live stream and chicken tenders for breakfast. Hey, I haven't had breakfast yet. And actually, I didn't take my meds this morning. I got to do that. So you said you liked the first view. So let me cut over to that. This is the Famaco that I have here that I haven't had hooked up here. So y'all can see all the other stuff here. You see let me get I don't have my joystick hook up, so I'm using the web page to control this. So right now, Monty, I'm gonna jump over to your question. So I have, let's go over to the camera. So first, well, actually, y'all can see it right there. How many cameras I got? I got the Blackmagic that's right here in front of me. Got the Famaco that's right there. Got the studio camera that is behind me. Got the overhead camera right there. So that's 1, 2, 3. I don't have my camcorders hooked up, which is, you can't see it, is right here, the Canon G50. Then I have my original Sony right here that's been acting up for a while. That's why I haven't really used it that much. And I think those are the only cameras I have set up right now. We do have some other stuff, so if y'all send me a message, and they know who they are, I am working on it. You see the yellow box right there. We're getting ready to do some work on that. Y'all see that that Heatness box right there? That's for the Bible trivia stuff. I still got a few things I gotta get up off the floor. You see how dirty that is? But hey, we're working on it. Let me go back to my shot right here. All right. Let me see. So we got a total of 4, Monty. That's what we got set up right now. We have the possibility of 6, but I have my other cameras hooked up to that. So yeah, we got 4 cameras. I need another cable, hook my Mac up, dedicated connection here, and that's it. That's what we got set up. And I don't feel like I gotta blow my nose or something. No. So again, my apologies, folks, for doing all this. That just came up all of a sudden. I do have my fan on the floor with all this, the lights and stuff like that. It gets a little hot here. So my apologies. Let's see. Yeah, Damien, I'm looking to up my game. Hey, AJ, it's been a while since I had the time to join. Hey, well, thank you for stopping by. Scott, also, hey, what's going on? You are not late. You are right on time. MA16V3, I would agree. I've watched his channel a lot. He focuses on super small form factor stuff. Really like his stuff as well, too. So thank you for that. That's it. MA16, thank you. That's the Ghost M1. Yeah, that's a great case as well, too. Advent Flame, good money, AJ. Hey, awesome. Dean is saying, hey, AJ, I have a client in a church that only has Wi-Fi for streaming. Do you think a power line would help? Yes, it would. Again, I like a hardline connection. Those power line adapters, I haven't used them in a while, but they, at my old house, that's what I used to use when I couldn't run a cable through the wall downstairs. That was great. You're not going to get super, super fast performance, but it's going to be consistent. And that's what the wired connection is all about. Let me switch back to this way because I'm looking right in the fan and it's blowing right here in my nose. You see my little on air sign that I did right there? I got that from Amazon for like $15. I don't like the fact, like, again, I can't hang stuff on walls. So that's like those command strips that are holding it in place. Mike, Raymond Abundant Life Ministries just dropped a video about their On a Mission for the Great Commission virtual conference happening. Yeah, that's with Francis the Wests. Yeah, if y'all can be a part of that, that is awesome. That is awesome. I would be there, but I would be in LA during that time. So, but please go ahead and support each other. That's what it's all about. Takia Curry, what hotspot would you recommend for live streaming on the go? Honestly, your phone. That would be the best one. Because, I mean, at this point, all the tech is there to do that. Anything other than that, I've never used a dedicated hotspot. I've just used my phone, and then I've used something like this as a mini router and then connected it. That's how, what I was doing, games and stuff like that, that's what I would use to do that. TR is asking the group, anyone know of a lower third plugin that will work on Linux? Our Windows PC is on its last legs, and since we just replaced everything else, all we have is our Linux boxes to rely on. Check out, I don't know, does HR2 work on Linux? Trying to see. I don't know. No, it only works on Mac OS and Windows. I don't know why all of a sudden just congested here for a second. So again, my apologies. I don't know. Off the top of my head, for that one there, TR, I have to do some research. Anybody else have any suggestions, please? Monty, oh yeah, the yellow box. I just live streamed a football game this past weekend with the yellow box. Yep, great system. Makes it small. Don't have to carry a lot of stuff to live stream it. I'm working on, just like I did the OBS 2022 guide for live streaming, we're working on the yellow box for that, Ecamm Live for that, the Mac version of OBS of that same video, vMix. We're going through all of them, folks. So be on the lookout for that. Adam, we have recently added Instagram to our social media lineup. What is a good app software to use for the desktop to live stream? It has been said Yellow Duck is unsafe. Adam, YOLO Box is actually coming out with something that's dedicated for that. Be on the lookout for that. I'm waiting to hear. I might get a product to sample for that, or I don't know if Monty, if you've gotten something about that yet. But it's a vertical one that will do that directly. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm gonna do something like that. Yeah, Dean, thank you. Yeah, I always wanted to have something like that so that I can I probably want to get another one because the idea is there's no electrical outlet right there. I want to face it on the steps. So if my daughter's here and she's coming downstairs, she'll know, oh, don't come down here because daddy's working. That's the red light is on. I want to do something like that in ministries as well, too, so that people trying to come in, they'll know, oh, something's going on. Finger scar nose. Building your R7 5700 for video editing. Can you recommend a mid-range GPU? Look for the 6700 for that, or a 3060 RTX 3060. That's around mid-range. You're looking at 350 to 550 for that. Mike says, I'm actually part of the promo video. Oh, I didn't know that. I need to check that out. Linux and live production are seldom good bedfellows. I know you can fire lower thirds via OBS, which is identical feature on Windows. All right, that's for the community. Indy. Hey, AJ, concerning projector for church, it will be a 3-into-1 as a center video wall and 2 as a side. Okay. Damien, have you considered going to the WFX conference? It's a huge worship tech facilities conference that I try to go to every 2 to 3 years. It could totally see you teaching sessions there. Honestly, I did not know about it, but I will look that up. WFX conference. And that's the week before going to LA. Might have to look into that. Thank you for that. Let me bookmark that. Yeah, Mike is in agreement. The Instagram YOLO box version is huge. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I want to add something like that into the service instead of me walking out in the service and taking my phone out. To have something that's in that vertical format that you can reuse. All of y'all that have those tripods when we first got started with live streaming, you can put that in the back. And I would love to be able to have that integrated and pulled in video and graphics and stuff like that, which I think, we try to MacGyver some stuff to see what we can do with that. All right, folks. So I'm gonna take a little second so while we have some questions in. Let me jump over to this last question before we come up here. Do you think more churches will adopt the virtual production with Unreal to tell their stories? Are you talking about the Unreal Engine or was that a typo? Let me know. Now let me take a quick second, folks. I have a couple of concepts, and you're probably seeing the last couple of versions. I'm actually studying a bunch of other folks about changing up how we do our thumbnails. So the idea is we want to start not telling our entire title of our video in our thumbnails. We want to be able to do a good image. So I'm going to share with y'all a video that I am working on, and we're going to design that thumbnail right now. So I'm still playing with the name. Excuse me. Man, what in the world? We're still playing with the name, but the idea, the premise of the video is anybody searching for your content? That's what it is. Or like, is your ministry subject matter trending? I'm still working on the title, but again, I want to show you kind of like in my mindset of making this video. I'm getting a lot away from doing a lot of text in my thumbnails because I'm testing the waters out. So this is what we're going to work on. So let me go over here to Elements, add Invatu, and I'm going to put this together because in my mindset, when I'm saying, is anybody searching for your content? That's kind of like the title of the video. From a ministry standpoint, in my mind, I'm just thinking about a search bar. And I just type ministry in. That's really all I'm looking for. So we're going to look for search bar. And it's a template that's already been made. And I want a graphic for that. Let's look in graphics. That's also, I don't want video. Actually, something like that is exactly what I'm looking for. So again, I want it to be simple. So something like this can work. Maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. Again, I want this to be simple because the idea is when you're making your thumbnails, you want to inspire people to make them have some form of intrigue. They want to be like, oh, what is that about? Now, again, unless your pastor is super, super well known, a picture of them on the front, honestly, that ain't really going to help. Again, I understand that, out of habit in church, we put our pastor, our leadership, our logo on everything. That really doesn't help. Again, I don't mind the logos. Like, for example, let me show you some of the stuff that we've been working on with signs and wonders. Again, I don't know everything. I'm just showing y'all that I am constantly trying to make some changes with our stuff as well too. Why did that come in? Signs and wonders, mysteries. So a lot of the stuff that I've been doing has been things like this. We want to put the stuff in. So that was like Mustard Seed Faith, a game changer. So I was thinking about a card game, and then loneliness, just a picture of that. It's like a lot more stuff is use the picture to represent what the message is. You don't have to put a lot of text. So I'm starting to shrink more of the stuff, and I put our logo on everything, but I'm just showing you how I would design this. So, and that's with banknotes. I don't want that. Don't necessarily want that unless there was a way I can change it. I don't really like that either. I just want just a regular search bar. I might have to use that one. I'll use this for right now, even though this is not ideally what I want to use. All right, so let's bring up Photoshop. This is my kind of template that I use for all of my thumbnails. And again, I'm using Photoshop, but you can do the same thing in Canva, whatever. All right, so let me turn off all these other layers that I don't need right here. And I don't like that, but this honestly might work. Let me turn off this extras, and I don't want that. So what can we do? That's a gradient there. It's not solid white, but let's see if we can use a clone key, and we want to get rid of that. And a clone key, it will actually allow you to mimic some images right beside it. So let's bump this up. I'm gonna hold down Alt, pick where I want this color to go, and you see now it's matching here, and I want to get rid of all of this. Oop. Let's set it again because I want to get rid of all of this. All right, so that's good. I want to change the background as well too, but the main thing is we already talked about what the topic is, and all I want to do is do a text layer here. Just gonna do this right here. Gonna change our text to black, and I use a certain font here, and let's bump the size up. I don't know, 60, and let's do it to the left. And we're just gonna do I don't know. Ministry, or I don't know, ministry topic. I mean, I'll do it this one, your ministry. Let me change that to bold. And let's crank it up just a little bit more. Let's add some dots here to the side. Oop, not that, AJ. So something like this. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do from a thumbnail, because it's like, it's a search. What in the world? I might put the word search or something. And then when we do our thumbnail, let's shrink it down to where if somebody sees this, can you understand what that is? Because that's about the size of what your thumbnail is going to be. So I'm most likely going to change the color of this background. But, I mean, that's some of the stuff that I'm playing around with instead of doing all this text and everything like that. Because you don't want somebody to look at your image and read the same thing that your title is. They can read the title, but then you want an image to intrigue them to be like, oh, I want to see what that's all about. So this is some of the stuff that I'm working on. That's what popped in my head when I was thinking about the topic. Again, that's what the benefit of using Envato Elements. They got all that stuff there, and you ain't got to go search all over the place, and you're licensed for all that stuff. And I think I gave enough time. An example. D Green wants to know, do you have any recommendations for communicating with volunteers during service? I mean, we've done text message. We've also done a private chat. I think Mike has done something like with a Discord. We've done walkie talkies. Any of those will work. It all depends. I have like the Hollyland ones that when we get a lot going in service, I'll have everybody there and we can talk with our regular voices and it's right in their ears. So we ain't gotta, since we're behind, we're behind the front pulpit, all of our speakers are there. So all of the instruments and everything are blasting. So that's what I do. Anybody else? What y'all think? And Dean, his comment was talking about the Unreal Engine. That's for 3D graphics, and you can make a virtual environment. I've been wanting to play around with that. And again, sorry for me messing with my nose. My nose is just itching there. Back to Indy, he was saying, that was a question. Sorry, I need your answer concerning projector. One as a center wall and two display so that 3 projectors in total. Okay, I mean, what about it? I mean, are you asking how that needs to be hooked up? What is that connected to? I need a little bit more detail to help out with that. Another question. Hey, AJ, I've been thinking about changing the way I send my audio from my camera via HDMI to the ATEM line input because I don't like the audio from the camera. Okay. But my concern is hope that there won't be any delay between the audio and video. It shouldn't, but where is your audio coming from? Is it coming directly from the board and then you're going from the board into the camera? They've made some updates that I have not had anybody had any latency or delay if you're bringing in the audio directly into the ATEM as well as video. I have not noticed that in a while. Mike, I saw a video on how Flatirons Church uses Unreal Engine to drive their video wall. It was amazing, very impressive when used right. Yeah, it's a lot of tech out there, folks. It's a lot of cool stuff to play around with. Let me see. So we got a big project coming on. We got the acceptance of Shiloh Baptist Church that we're going to be doing in Ashland. We're going to be redoing their fellowship hall and doing their sanctuary, and we got a quick turnaround time. Hopefully, we'll get in the products and everything so that we can start doing that install the week of the 18th because like I said, I'm gone the last week of September, and then we want to just turn a lot of stuff around. But folks, I want to engage with y'all a little bit more. What are y'all seeing now that we've been in this thing for quite a while? What are y'all's numbers looking like? Are y'all's numbers dropping down on the live stream and you're getting more people in place in the building? Are less people attending, but then the numbers are low? What's going on? What are y'all seeing out there? And again, when we first started, a lot of people were uncomfortable about being at home, but now we're seeing a lot of people being too comfortable in their staying at home. Not that I really care. It doesn't really matter. As long as the message goes out, whether you're in the building, at home, in your car, in the bathroom, it don't really matter, to me at least. But let me know. Want to see what y'all are thinking about that. Anthony, I use my personas from the board to the computer using my ATEM. No issues with the setup. Awesome. MA16, is there equipment we can use to send front of house sound to a different room via Cat 6? Kind of wanting to build out a small room, and we already have Cat 6 running, trying to avoid Dante as possible. That was going to be my first suggestion was Dante. I mean, you could convert it audio cable with a Balun and send it over Cat 6. That's what I'm doing right now with the box that I have. My sound bar that's right here for the computer because I didn't have a long enough cable, and I got a Balun that connects it and runs over Cat 6, and then it connects back to 3.5 in the back. That's what I've used. Yeah, I would say, back to your question, I have not noticed any issues. Like right now, my audio is coming from my Rodecaster directly into the ATEM. And I've been using that on all my videos. I don't have to sync. I don't have to change nothing. I would try that, and you should be good. Christopher has said his online numbers have dropped by half. Okay. Anthony, I get more people to watch our streams afterwards, which I'm fine with for that for right now. Okay. Shaquille, it's dropping on both ends for us. And again, I think, let me answer this last one and then we'll see. Our in person has been growing, and a few started attending our church because of them attending online. We've had a lot of that as well, too. And I think the idea, folks, is like, yeah, my channel here is to answer y'all's questions, but it's also to answer the questions and try to answer the questions and ask the questions that most people don't want to talk about. And I remember saying this a long time ago, and a lot of people are just daggone stubborn. They don't ask this. They assume. So one question I pose to y'all, again, shameless plug, my birthday is Monday, so I'm turning 44. But my question used to be, is my age range and younger up to 18? You ask some of the older folks why we're not going to church, and then you get the typical answers. The majority of the answers I've gotten from that is like, they're lazy, they're falling away from God, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's the easy knee-jerk reaction. My question is, I'll put it this way. If your restaurant only serves biscuits and gravy, why are you getting mad because people are no longer coming to your restaurant? Is it because they just don't like biscuits and gravy? I mean, that could be it. But my question is, COVID and with live streaming and everything has taught churches, I would hope, has taught churches that we need to stop being so lazy. We can't expect to sit comfortably in our nice building and expect people to come. Our responsibility, the Great Commission, it says to go, not stay. It says go. So I really thought, and I believe that the live streaming has allowed us to go reach more people when honestly we haven't been doing that as much as we should have. So how do I bring that full circle to that conversation? Are we trying to go out and reach everybody else? Or are we just saying, hey, this is how we've done church all this time? Fine, we finally did cameras, but are you changing your subject matter? And again, I'm not a pastor, so please be mindful of what I'm saying. Are we trying to just preach from comfort, or are we trying to teach at what's needed for the house? Meaning that, hey, yes, God can give you a message for the house, but can everybody consume the meal that you're serving? Is it only catered to a certain age range? Are you preaching to some stuff that's for my age range to 18, or from 18 and younger? Or are you just doing this general message and you're like, I don't care who's able to eat it. I just want to put it out there. Again, the idea, I think that what we've done is, are we willing to change? Again, not change the message, the method, but then also in that method, hey, some people like me, I've been in church my entire life, but I'm at the point now, I ain't trying to sit for an hour-long message. Maybe it's the impatient part of me. I don't think your subject matter should have to take an hour to get to. That's just me. But can you take that message and switch it up a little bit? Hey, some people want the lecture form. Boom, here you go. Hey, can we make, or I guess long story short, and I know I'm rambling, that video, the thumbnail that I just made, the concept, what I'm saying is do you think it's time for ministries to have a message for the house, and instead of just putting that up as a live stream, you have a message that is trending or searchable for the time at hand? And I think, Anthony, I'm waiting for you to chime in on this one. Like back a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, when Creflo Dollar came out with the stuff that he had, are we addressing the topics at hand, or are we just, hey, this is all I'm trying to do? Because I think my issue and my concern is, maybe are the numbers just dropping because people have gotten used to what we're doing, or are we actually servicing and helping a need? That's what I'm wondering. Again, I'm rambling, but I really want to know y'all's opinion of that, because the numbers on people watching TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reels, and all this stuff, those numbers ain't going down. Some of our ministry numbers have gone down. And why is that? Are we asking that question, or are we just going to do a knee-jerk reaction? They've fallen away from God, which is the same stupid answer that we gave before when people were fighting COVID. Like, can we evolve and change to look at, hey, maybe we're missing the mark. Maybe we need to do something different. That's what I'm just wondering. But let me know. Let's go back in here. And Bruce, in person is up a lot. Live views are less than 20, but delayed viewings is greater than 200. Awesome. Steve Hawkins. We still have people coming back to church, but we still use Zoom and live stream on YouTube. Some services I see more people on YouTube than Zoom during service. Awesome. Francis. AJ, I'm looking at building 2 systems, one for ProPresenter 7 with at least 4 outputs, and the other for live streaming at 1080p 60 with the A10 Mini Pro. Any recommendation? A Ryzen 5 system, 6 cores or higher, 16 gigs of memory minimum for ProPresenter 7, and you're looking at, you want to at least do a Radeon 6600 or higher, or a RTX 2060 or 3060 or higher. That will give you the multiple outputs that you need for that. And then honestly, the same, I mean, if you're going to and you said the other is for live streaming. So the A10 Mini Pro is not going to be doing live streaming. You want to use OBS for that. Again, I would go with the same specs of the system that I did in that OBS video for live streaming, and that would work for you. Christopher, thank you so much. Let me show you what I got myself for my birthday. Give me a half a second. Let me show you something real quick. So, you know, me and my daughter love some Legos. So I saw this, the DeLorean. So, yay, this is what we're going to be putting together for my birthday. As some people coming in town I haven't seen in a while. So we're going to have some company, so that's going to be cool. But let me jump back. And I'm out of breath. That tells you how out of shape I am. Got to work on that. Jackie Allen. We have about 50% back in the sanctuary and then about 25 to 30 online. The others have just left. Man, I'm out of shape. Our in-person is growing, stream stays steady, but the vast majority watch online, live, or our video archive for a bit first before coming into the building, okay? Mike, thank you. Sandra, thank you. That's Christopher. We have plenty of people cannot attend because they still can't get out of their Sunday shift as they were forced into during COVID. Understood. That's another reason why we should keep doing it. We also have more people who have been homebound because of aging health issues. Yep. We've had a drop on the video stream, but we've had a little increase in the audio live stream using that. Okay. KCMI89. Our numbers dropped once in person was fully open, but since then the numbers have been the same each week. Not much of an increase or decrease. So I guess that's the reason I'm asking. Is anybody looking into the analytics? And I'm about ready to bring up signs and wonders just to have a come to Jesus moment so we can actually look at this as well too. Steve, does anyone else chat go black after a few minutes? That's strange. I don't know. Rant priest. Skill Curry. It need to be separate in my opinion. And saying it's a generational thing for us. Anthony, I address it at hand. You have to be careful what you put out. With streaming, you have to evolve almost daily to stay up to date. That's my point. Are we trying to evolve, or are we still doing the same thing that we did when COVID happened. Like, we were reluctant to get on board with live streaming. And then when we finally did, we just bought the cameras. So, all right, we're done. Now let's go back into the same rut doing the exact same thing. Are we trying to really evolve? You know, it, like, again, I know this is ludicrous. This is against the Bible for people to say this. I'm being sarcastic when I say that, but is it possible that you might not have to have Bible study on Wednesdays? Is it possible? Has anybody even asked, is it possible to do away with in-person church meetings and we do it all on Zoom? Is it possible that maybe you can have a service at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday or a Sunday that meets the needs of people who are working during the day or something like that? I mean, that's what I'm asking. Are we asking the questions, or are these so sacred that we don't even touch them? Because, I mean, how do you don't learn and you don't try anything without asking the questions? Are we just content with just doing the same old, and we just change this little inch at a time? When, again, you have like Mr. Beast and all these other people that are reaching hundreds of millions of people. For me, this is how I believe. I believe the fact that if there's somebody out there able to reach that, and again, I don't know what their belief is. I'm not trying to knock that at all. But the fact is, if God made us all equal, again, I'm going to reference back the video that I talked about of why people are more successful than everybody else. Is it that God blessed them over anybody else, or are they willing to do something that we aren't doing? So, like, again, I don't know what Mr. Beast his beliefs are, nothing like that, but he's helping out a whole lot of people. And do you really think if he wasn't, again, I'm trying to dance around the issue without saying it. Again, I'm not saying that he worshiping Satan or nothing like that, but my whole point is God versus Satan and everything that we got going on. Do you really think that God would lose to anything? So if these people are not about serving God, do you really think God would lose in being able to reach how many people? Or maybe just like with a Saul and Paul type of situation, this is showing what is capable, but no one has stepped up on this side, on this team, to actually try to do something like that. That's what I'm just wondering. Because if he can help and impact that many people, there's no reason why any of us who believe in what we believe, we aren't doing something similar, or if not greater. So my question is, who's willing to step up? Again, for me, my channel, what I do here, that's the purpose of what I'm doing. And I'm trying to do what I can, because for me, this YouTube channel started because as a preacher's kid, be sitting in church the entire time, let me be blunt, it pissed me off that I was sitting at church and I'm hearing all this other stuff and I'm hearing people talk about it, but no one's doing anything. Like, we're talking about all this good stuff and all this other stuff. Or I said this on our group, on our roundtable. It says that greater works shall you do than when he was here. Where are the greater works? At minimum, we should be doing what Jesus did. Minimum. But he said we can do greater. Who's doing the greater works? And I'm thinking reaching 100 million people, that's greater works. But I don't know if he's on the same team. But who of us, what ministry is really willing to step out? Or are we still just comfortable just talking just to our neighborhood, just in the four walls, just in our community, just to our city, when we have the ability to be global? That's the purpose of what we're doing here. Again, sorry, rant. My apologies. But that, I mean, I'm giving y'all some of the stuff that I talk about during the roundtable. That's just what my thoughts are right now. Let me go up here. Brandon, what's going on, sir? Mike, we are called to cast the net, and his word will not return void. Absolutely. Philip Paul, thank you from Malaysia. Thank you. Thank you. Is that Twidget? I'm not sure about that one. Christopher, now you have a place that is big enough to display it. Lego sets has been getting too big, but more cool. Yeah, we have a Saturn V in my daughter's room. I don't know, we put together. Careful with the flux capacitor. Man, if I can go back in time, I would start this YouTube channel when I actually got on YouTube in 2006. I would have done that. Let me jump forward here. Francis, AJ is spot on. But if we spend a little extra, get some non-FSKU modern Intel CPUs in between both the NVIDIA AMD and on the CPU, you can drive 8 displays, no deck link needed. I would agree. I'd agree. Thank y'all all for the early birthday stuff. Rhonda, thank you, thank you. Francisco, what's going on? Again, thank you, thank you. Lady Deborah, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. And to Anthony, my streaming numbers per service are the same as before we opened the building. A lot more people are watching the services during the week than those that are actually attending. I would agree. Christopher, we host 2 Bible study sessions, one in person, online. That's what we're doing. We're looking at doing more. Thank y'all. Thank you. Mike, it's possible we did it during COVID. All right. Philip Paul. Question, AJ. We have been doing live streaming from a laptop, which is running at 90%. Ooh, that's not good. When streaming, recording 2 extended displays, one for our second screen and work on, and the other one for overflow. Man, you were pushing that system to the limit. Let me jump back when I get your other comment. Jackie, our Bible study was moved to Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. so that we could have one day in worship. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. Hey, that is the plan. Brandon, I'm not sure when you're talking about Twidget. So again, my apologies. Fingers here. Numbers for the live dropped due to the platform change. Facebook was giving us problems, so we stopped using them. We are building our streaming from our website only, considering other options. Oh, thank you for saying that. There's another little video that I'm putting together, and this might be an option for y'all. It's called One Cast or Only Cast. It's how you can set up your own private casting yourself, and it's not going anywhere. So you technically, you should not have any copyright issues because it's not going to Facebook, it's not going to YouTube. You're hosting your own live streaming stuff. You would build this whole server out, whether it be through AWS services with Amazon or a private streaming server or something like that. I'm going to do a video on that. I'm isolating everything to put that together, but I think that might be a good option there. Thank you for bringing that up because it rejogged my memory. Christopher, Jesus was teaching in the middle of nowhere. I can just hear what some people would say to him. Hey, exactly. Tag Productions. Yeah, we moved. We're here in the house, so we got some more space here. Hey, I'm feeling you, folks. It's like, why do y'all think we got this stuff? If there's no such thing as a coincidence, why do y'all think we're here? Why do y'all think all of us have an interest in this media stuff? It's not just to serve just our local ministry. That's the whole purpose of that. Look back at the new logo that we have. There's a reason why that was designed right there. It's 4 walls, and you see they're being broken out because we're called to get out of our building and reach more. And we have to push the limits of what we're doing, folks. That's the point of us doing this. I hope what we do is to show that little AJ, who started where he is, I ain't nobody great. It's just that when y'all talk about preaching, when God said, like, who can I send? I got tired of nobody doing it. I said, God, you can send me. And that's really all it was. I mean, that's why I say that when Brandon, Anthony, or anybody has called me, I'm I'm I am willing to give this information because it's not about me reaching everyone. It is about us reaching everyone. Anybody can do what I'm doing, and I'm encouraging y'all to do that because my goal is for not for me to hit 1 million subscribers. It is for the 1 million subscribers I have to reach 1 million. That's when we start having exponential growth. That's where we start impacting everyone and sharing the message, not with the same people who've been sitting in the pews for the last 50 years. It's about reaching those who don't know anything, you know? So I don't know what it is, folks. Y'all, you got me going today. Man, see, Elliot done started something. He was calling me Bishop. JJ was saying, hey, a lot of our members have returned in service, and we just started making mask optional instead of mandatory. Our live numbers have decreased. And again, it's nothing the matter with that, but I'm thinking when we're talking about our numbers decreasing, and again, I'm assuming this, so don't take this personally. My question is, are our numbers decreasing because the only people who are watching were our members of our ministry that are now coming into the building? And if that's true, that's fine. Now we need to retarget what we're doing, meaning that our live stream is not for our members. It is a convenience for the members. Our live stream is to reach those people who are not coming to the building and to reach everyone else. That's why we talk about our titles, our thumbnails, everything to get people when they see our stuff, they want to stop and watch. Again, if people have been, our goal is not to just minister to the people who've already been coming to church. It's to minister to the people who don't know anything about this Jesus stuff, this God stuff, the Bible. That's what we're trying to do. That's what this tool is for. Video media. Hi, AJ. Do you have any tutorials on how to show comments on the live streaming like you do now? Yes, I do. But when we do the deep dive on the 2022 live streaming with vMix, we'll go through that as well too. But yes, I do have one on vMix Social. Brandon, just like that. That is vMix Social that's doing this. Mike, thank you for the name. That's what it's called, Owncast. Yes, I'm going to do a video on setting that up. All righty, that's 3. So we will work on that. We will work on that. What do you suggest is the best way to build the interest of a media tech volunteer who just finished high school, although I've been trying your let the fail strategy? The best way to build interest, you can't put interest in anybody else. I'll put it this way. Like I had my friend, one of my coworkers and friend for over 10 years. She brought her daughter over here and they were visiting after I've gotten stuff here in the house. And she came in and saw everything. I think her daughter is 8. She saw everything and she was just calling her friends like, oh my God, da 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 da. And I say this for me. I caught myself on fire and I invited people to watch. How do you build interest? You be passionate about it, and then those people will come from the ashes and be interested in what you're doing. When I was doing this, there was nobody watching, but then y'all are all here because y'all saw something that I was doing. You know, I didn't go hunt y'all down. Y'all found me because of what I was doing. How do you build interest? You make it palatable for them. You know, I come in here saying like, hey, I'm doing this all for media, but this is the same setup, this overkill. If you're trying to be any type of stuff, you want to be a cook, the same setup will work with that in your house. You just move it to the kitchen. Hey, you want to be a gamer? Hey, we can do the same thing here. The same screen that I'm doing here, I could have my video games right here the same way. All this, you have to show from our standpoint what we do in media and the lessons that your media team is doing from a service to service basis. Those skills are in demand outside in the world. for companies. I mean, Monty talked about it. I did this as well too. Streaming football games for schools who are not proficient in this stuff or don't have anything in place. For funeral homes, for ministries, for graduations. The skills that we do in media can help facilitate you to where if you want to leave your job, hey, here's an example. This is an ETL developer that did SQL and tech support and all this other stuff. Doing and following the passion and the mission that God has allowed me to do, that's why I was able to step away from my job, and I've not missed a beat. But at the same time, I've been using the same skills that I learned in media ministry that I learned on my own time. Now they pay the bills. And now I can come and go as I please. I can help other ministries all over the world. But again, you show that as, like, for example, when kids come up to me, they're like, well, man, Mr. AJay started, he was playing piano at first. Now he moved to media. Now he owns 3 companies and he's hiring some of us that used to sing in his choir. Man, Mr. AJay, could you show me how you do that? That's how you build interest. That's how you build interest. You meet people where they're at, which is what we talked about at the beginning of our media ministries and what our ministry is doing. Jesus solved people's needs first before he started. You know, I don't remember Jesus beating anybody upside the head with the Bible or with scrolls or nothing like that. You meet people at their needs. Like the woman with the issue of blood, her issue was solved. Then something happened. We're too busy trying to beat people over the top of the head with the Bible when you don't need to beat people over the Bible. Live the Bible. And people will be interested in your character more than you just quoting a whole bunch of scripture. You know, if somebody's saying, I'm hungry, don't give them scripture, feed them. Show the character to love. That's why I've had atheists reach out to me from YouTube, and they're like, hey, would you help me? I know I'm not a Christian. Dude, you don't need to be a Christian or be just like me for me to help you. As a Christian, I'm called to help anybody if I have the need. That speaks volumes over me just quoting a whole bunch of scripture. And I think this is what our platform is to show. And we talked about this before. Your ministry, your live stream, you need to show the character of your ministry, which is way better than you just quoting and having a camera in the back and you're allowing people to see your service. What's the character that your ministry? Are you community focused? Do you really help? Or are you just a big country club that only people can come to? Hey, maybe that's too tough talk, but I mean, that's just really what it is. So let's go here. You may have already answered this in the past. How are you able to get your church to understand your vision? Well, first off, my vision doesn't supersede my pastor's. I sit down with my pastor to understand his vision, and then I have the vision for what God has called me to do in media, and I first see how my vision helps support the vision of the pastor. And mine will never, ever supersede that. If it gets to the point where God has called my vision to be bigger than the ministries, then it's time for me to leave. Because there is no, I don't believe in dissension. It shouldn't be a dissension, and it should not be a battle. If there's a battle where ministries are going against each other, they need to part ways. That's just my personal opinion. Anthony, if I update from the Ryzen 3200 to this 5600G, will I notice a major change in the streaming? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Make sure your motherboard BIOS is updated to support that CPU before you do it, though. And you should be able to download the software version so you can do it all in Windows. So it makes it easier than trying to do it through the BIOS directly. Back to Philip Paul. And for now, we don't have any ATEM switches at the moment. I think I might have missed your comment. I'm going to go back here. Jaquil Curry, did you receive a lot of pushback from the start? Yes. And I still get it from some of the folks that some people are not going to see your vision, but it's not your point to convince people. When God called you for whatever your interest is, he did not call a Zoom meeting and he did not call a conference call. He called you. And the people who are going to understand will find their way to you. It is not your or our responsibility to convince everybody. When I started doing YouTube, I used to try to convince people to do this. I stopped doing that because that's a waste of my energy. And that's a waste of your energy. If they don't see it, show it first. If they still don't see it, they're blind. And then you move on. That's just me. and I know this might be harsh, but this is after I'm just trying to save y'all from when I was doing this. It was an uphill battle, and I realize now where I'm at, I made it more difficult for me because I was trying to convince people that they could swim who didn't want to swim. It's a waste. Anthony, my live numbers decrease when it's someone they don't understand that's preaching. How often have you thought about giving up? For a very long time, I did. At the beginning, everybody thought I was crazy. Everybody thought it was stupid when I felt that. Well, first off, when I got a message at 1:30 in the morning, I was told to leave music and do media. I've been playing ever since I was 6. So at that time, it was 30 years of me, no, 25 years of me playing music. And that's what everybody knew me for. And I've been in church. I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, all that other good stuff. When I heard that, I realized just how many people, in my personal opinion, talked church, but didn't really believe anything. I had more people tell me that God didn't talk to me. And I'm like, how in the world could you tell me that? But then I started to question that. And I remember somebody said that, and I read it in a book or heard somebody say it. If God calls you, don't confirm with any man or any woman what God said. Now, you may get confirmation. So like when that happened, my friend Kyle, who's I've brought on here before, I talked to him. He didn't tell me what God told me or didn't tell me. He was like, he confirmed something that already happened. So did I feel like giving up? Yes. When I was weak in my relationship with God, I was leaning more towards on what another person's opinion was instead of what God was telling me. And then when I lost my job, going through a divorce, everything like that, I didn't have anything. So all I had was me and God to talk. So I'm like, well, God, you know what? I ain't got nothing to lose. I done lost everything else. So if you're saying to go in this direction, let's go. I'm about ready to be like, it says, prove me here now, say if the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, pour out the blessing, and then shall not be room enough to receive it. So I'm like, I'm gonna hold true to what you said. I'm gonna ask for you to prove yourself. You said this, I'm believing it's you. So let's go. And when I decided to listen to his confirmation or everybody else, the whole concept of me giving up, I stopped worrying about that. And now everybody can see what the vision of what he told me when it wasn't there. All those same people who were the naysayers, they don't say nothing now. They're just quiet. So, I mean, it was an uphill battle. But again, me just telling you, it's like once I realized that I know that God actually told me to do this, I stopped worrying about what other people talked about. So, TR, I heard one elder once say 20 to 25 minutes is enough for a good message and too long for a bad one. We try to keep that in mind for streaming too, as it helps keep attention. Yep, that's true. The mind can take what the butt can withstand. After a certain period of time, some messages take too long. And just from an analytics standpoint, and that reminds me, we need to go show the analytics as well too. Augustine, my video editor, man, that's why we stopped live streaming. We only had members watching. So now our focus is back to using digital media to build community and reach the lost and not just feed the sheep. Excellent point. Excellent point. Definitely interested in only cast option. Our message is falling out of favor with big tech. We need other venues. Absolutely. Lamar. Hey, AJ, what is your recommendation preference on having a pastor on a live mic or headset mic, and which brand do you recommend? Well, it all depends. If your pastor is one that he's wearing a coat or they're wearing, I want to be careful because I don't want to say it's just men or women. If they have any type of garment that can brush up against their stuff, a lavalier is a pain because you're going to hear that all this stuff from their clothes all over the thing. Like for Pastor Taylor, I have him a Halo, a headset so that he's free and it's not going to bump into anything. That's just, I would say, that's the reason why I moved between the two. So like I use a lavalier. I used to use a lavalier when I was doing builds and stuff like that. But sometimes because of all the movement I was doing, it was getting in the way. So that's why I'm using this, I'm going to be setting up a shotgun mic. If I can point to it up there, I have a vice grip right there that I'm going to have a shotgun mic. So I don't have to have anything and I can be free to do whatever. That's the only difference that I would say in that. Enter TD. Well, hey, thank you. Hey, fire away your question. I'm here. Anthony, how can I check the BIOS to make sure it's compatible? Well, what motherboard are you using? I would look up the brand, look up the manufacturer who made the motherboard, look up the website, and look up that model, and they'll give you a breakdown. So, for example, let's cut over here, and let's go to Gigabyte. And it, not that. I'm going to go to gigabyte.com. I hope that's the right. I really hope that's the right link. Let's actually just search it again. Make sure. Yeah. I didn't do www. All right. So let's go here. We're going to go to our motherboards. And chipset, AMD, socket, AMD. And I'm looking for, it won't give me the chipset. Oh, there it is, chipset. No, that's a B450. I used that one instead. All right, so if I come here, and where's it at? Here it is. So this is the typical motherboard that I would normally use. The first thing, look this up, and then we're going to go over to support, CPU support, and then we search through here. So I'm looking for the 5600G. There it is, and we need BIOS F61 for that. You just look it up that way, and that's how you can get it to make sure. So you come here, that's what it says. We're going to come here, and it doesn't matter what operating system because it's a BIOS. We're going to come down to BIOS, and we're going to, look for the latest one, but at minimum, you need F61. Most of the time, you have to walk through the upgrades. You just can't jump directly there unless it says specifically you can just jump that directly to it. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Just go to the manufacturer of the motherboard, look up the model, go to CPU support, and they'll tell you which one is compatible or not. InterTD wants to know, I have a question. Can we stream from a cloud PC? Will it be laggy? What do you mean by cloud PC? Are you talking about like a cloud server, like an AWS server, something like that? Need a little bit more specs on that first. Roland from Switzerland. Hey, you are right on time. MA16. My pastor initially hated our Thor SE11. He wore it kicking and screaming. Then we had to send it in for repair. Used the lavalier. In the meantime, he realized he was wrong. Anthony, if you're using that same, the DS3H, then yes, it's fine. Just the same one I looked up. You just got to download that firmware, and you're good to go. Well, I recently changed that. Are you talking about the mic for my pastor? We changed that, and that's actually a why did I just go blank? Let me see. Man, I really just went blank there for a second. I'm searching on my Amazon history so I can have a refresher. There it goes, GTD audio. This is the exact one that we used, that we moved to. So this is the headset and a lavalier that we got for him, and it was only $160, so $169. But so Dr. Taylor, she uses this, the handheld, and then Pastor Taylor uses the hip pack for there. And I will put a link in the comments if you are interested in that. All righty, let's see what else we got. All right, so let's go ahead and let's have a come to Jesus moment, and let's look at the the data and the stuff like that for signs and wonders. And this is something I really want y'all to look at as well too. How do we analyze our effectiveness in our streams if you're going to YouTube? So I'm gonna look at our last live stream, which was here. Let's look at the analytics, and let's see. First off, since it's been published, we've had 18 views in 4 days. Need to set a target of what we're trying to look at. And then we didn't have that many chat. Now, I think the main thing is the majority of our folks are watching on Facebook. So again, catering this to reach other folks. But let's look at some engagement. So we've had a total of just 4 people watching that at a given time when it was live. And we want to see how we want to see the engagement. So out of here, this is why we say if you're streaming on Facebook, you need to ask people to subscribe. As of right now, 50% of the people, 52.9% of the people who watched our live stream from church on Sunday were not subscribed. This, even though we put in stuff to like, subscribe, this is something that needs to be called out. Still not enough information to know locations, but we want to check out the engagement. So we had 26 unique viewers have watched this. What else are we looking at? 41% found it through the YouTube search. 33.3 were from browser. That's meaning that showed up on their home screen. Those are most likely if it was a recommendation, or that's what showed up from there, from a channel page. So 15% people were going directly there. 7.7 were from external, and 2.6%, this was suggested to people. All right. YouTube put this in front of 303 people. That's what the impressions are. The impressions are you putting it in front of somebody's face. Again, we want to get that number higher, and then our click-through rate. So out of that 303, 9.6% of those people actually clicked the video. And then the watch time was 5.09 hours, which honestly is not bad. So this is the stuff you need to start looking through. Lizard lick towing, content suggesting this live stream. Wow, that's interesting. I don't know who that is. But so again, I'm going to do a breakdown in comparison. Let's look at these same numbers, but we're going to look at this based on my channel. And I'm going to look at the OBS video that we did. This one. Let's look at the breakdown of this so we can understand how the numbers work. So if we go to our audience, our engagement. Wait a minute, where was that? Reach. That's where it is. So here, YouTube put this video in front of 32,000 people. And then that had a 3.9 click-through rate, which again is not that good. We need to bump that up. I'm not complaining, but we need to do better in that. So out of that, 1,300 people actually clicked on the video, and the average time that people watched was 13 minutes. This was an hour and 14-minute long video. But in total, this video has acclimated 280.5 hours of watch time. So let's look at this. This came from browser features. So this was put up. And what is the browser features? Traffic from your homepage, home screen, subscription feed. So these are mainly for people who, that's how this was. This was suggested to 12.7 people. Notifications, those are people that are subscribed. YouTube search, that shows how many people were actually looking for this. So this shows I need to work on titles and stuff like that to get it in front of more people. Channel pages, other people that recommended this, and others. And let's see what else. 60% from my links came from Facebook, WhatsApp, that's interesting, YouTube, and Google search. We need to bump this up some more. When people were finding this, 14% were looking me up. That's how they got to this. But we want to start doing this OBS for beginners. These are other searches that we want to look at. This will give you some key terms on what you can do to reach more people. So let's look at these key terms. People are looking at OBS for phone camera, OBS studio. These are the terms that people looked up. They got to this video. So again, you want to look at that. Let's go back now and go back to Signs and Wonders. And we want to reverse engineer the same thing. Again, this is what people are doing and that most ministries are not doing. Again, we're talking about using the tips and strategies that other people are using. You want to call them secular or whatever, but hey, they're strategies that work. Do you care if somebody is using Christian strategy, if they're a Christian and they're using strategies to get fit, or they're secular and they're using strategies to get fit? If the goal is to get fit and they have the results, does it matter? Because again, YouTube does not have any preference. It's just a machine. It's just a website. You want to leverage those tools. So let's go here to audience. No, was it engagement? Or was it reach? All right, so here are the terms. Let's look at all the terms. People are looking for signs and wonders, mustard seed faith, signs and wonders. That's it. So we need to expand other ways that people are searching for us. And that's, you want to play into the other terms that everybody's doing. So I think I gave enough stalling time for some more people to leave some stuff here. Let's go over here. Switzerland. I did that. Enter TD. So that's what I'm going to be doing a video on. That's the Owncast. We're going to be testing that out. Roland, I am just using the super source on the ATEM to do that picture-in-picture type of thing. Steve, question. What kind of information do you put in your tag option in YouTube? Honestly, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I used to do a lot of tag stuff, but let's do a deep dive, and it's something that was in plain sight that I was not paying attention to. So let's go ahead and show you something here. Let me go to a video, and let's actually just go back to this one. So these are all the timestamps for that OBS video. And let's go down here to our tags. Tags can be useful if content in your video is commonly misspelled. Otherwise, tags play a minimal role in helping viewers find your video. I did not pay attention to this. So all of this stuff is just if somebody misspells something. Your tags, as of, I don't know how long ago this was changed, your tags really don't benefit as much as you thought in your videos. These are just for misspelling. So what I'm going to change on mine, let me take out one of these. So what I'm going to do is do something like this. I'll do AJay, the CEO, because people spell my name wrong. Or just AJay, the CEO, because people will put the name in wrong like that. That's what your tags are good for. Not anything else. That's for somebody spelled your name wrong. Everything now is for your thumbnail, your title, and your description. And then I would also add hashtags because they haven't said anything different about that right now. So we'll make that change right there. So it used to be tags used to be super important, but that is YouTube themselves saying that your tags play a minimal role in helping viewers find your video. So I hope that helps. Let's see. I think we've been going for a minute, folks. How long have we been going for? I can't even tell. Oh well, I don't know. I gotta go hang 2 TVs for a friend here pretty soon. But why does it keeps showing like I got comments that are going on, but I'm not seeing much going on here. Let's go here back to Enter TD. I mean, since our church is very old, an i3 laptop, and meanwhile, as I was looking to upgrade, can we simply use a cloud? Yes, that's what the Owncast we're working at doing. Dean, I see your comment. I'm waiting for it to update so I can bring it up. Dean wants to know, are you using DaVinci Resolve for timestamps on your YouTube videos? Yes, I do. So, for example, let me open up DaVinci Resolve, and I will show you. Let's minimize this. Let's go to our super source. And I'm going to do, somebody asked me to do a video on me making the videos. And honestly, it's, I'm trying to think of the logistics of how to record a video of me making my videos while I'm making a video. But we'll see what we can do. So here's the video for the live stream. So what I normally do inside of this is, you see all those check marks, that's where I'm leaving, and that tag actually needs to go away. I make sections of where everything is. So if I zoom in here at the very beginning, I have my intro like I normally have. So let me zoom out of here a little bit. So I'll start this off as my intro here. So many things have changed. Let me change this to single screen here so you can see everything. There we go. Add-ons and functionality and features in OBS. We decided to do a brand new guide from beginning to end to help those new folks that are getting into. I don't know, my audio is going in and out like that. Live streaming for quite a while. Show the advances of what OBS. All right, so there's the first one. There's my greeting. The start is automatic, and then I'm just going through and making tags, markers for each one where I'm at. And then that's what, when I upload it through DaVinci Resolve to deliver, if I come over here and I have this checked off, use chapter markers, and I pick which color I was using, which was blue, make those the markers inside of YouTube so I don't have to do it all. It takes the name and pushes it over to the upload. So that's how I do that. I do the same thing at church when I get a chance. So that makes it really, really easy. All right, folks. Let me know if you have any other questions. Again, I want to make sure y'all remember that we are going to have our roundtable. I'll let y'all know. I do have company that is coming in town, and they're hanging out in I don't know how many days. So I'm gonna have a house full of folks for the weekend. So if we can get some quiet time, we're gonna have it. But be mindful, we may cancel it. I doubt it. But we're only gonna have 2 for this month because, like I said, the last week we're gonna be in California. So if anybody's in the LA area and you're gonna be around Vid Summit, hey, I'd love to holler at you. Let me see. We got 2 other comments here. Dean, could GeForce Experience to record screen or NDI with OBS and NDI plugin to grab a screen recorder from a network and could you? It was a suggestion. Yes, you could use that. Enter TD. How do you connect 2 laptops over NDI as an external screen? If you install the NDI tools and you have the screen, That's kind of like what I have right now. So if I go back here over my desktop, let me close out of NDI. Let me close out of DaVinci Resolve. And if I open up the studio, actually, I already had a link to it. Hold on. If I open up the studio monitor right here, because I'm running NDI over my network, like I have vMix is out here right now. And see, I can pick this, and then we're going to have a loop of a loop. So that's going over the network right now. As long as NDI is running, you can pick up whatever. So that's all. I mean, you just got to install it, run the scan converter or screen capture. I think that's what 5.5 NDI Tools calls it now. Turn that on. That will broadcast every screen that you have over your network. And then I'm running vMix, which is also pushing out NDI. And then your monitor will just show whatever. And then OBS will pick up the same way as well too. So like, actually, I should have did that. Let's cut back over here. Let me open up OBS. So you saw all those fields open. And okay, OBS 28. We're going to be doing that here soon. So what I can do is let me turn these off. And I'm just going to add an NDI source. And let's see what's on the network. The same thing show up. So if I pick this, there it is. So if this was a laptop or anything like that, that's how it would show up over NDI in OBS. Really, really straightforward. Anthony Johnson has a two-part question. We're using Zoom and ATEM software with a laptop. How do I add a presentation software? Is that too much? It isn't, but you might want to be careful with that. If you want to add presentation software, you would need a third display output that will connect into the ATEM. That's how you could do that. And that's the easiest way. Or honestly, get another laptop and have it connected. That's the easiest way. But if you only have one system, get like a USB to HDMI adapter from Amazon for like $15, which will give you another display out. Have that connect into the ATEM. But you are pushing it a little bit to have that system run everything like that. Philip Paul said, I think I missed your question. Let me see. All right, you're saying we have one fixed camera presentation source and second camera just added Behringer audio interface, and every week we somehow will have a problem in the setup. What would you recommend for a better setup and any layman can even control it if I'm not in church? And you said you don't have an ATEM as your setup. I gotta think through that. I mean, what's your streaming software? Are you using OBS? Let me know, and then we can follow back up with everything else. Shane and Hannah, hello, hello. Let me see where we left off at here. Francis wants to know, what are the specs of the system I'm using to live stream right now? Honestly, I'm not using that system to stream. I'm using the web presenter, but the system that's running vMix right now, that is 32 gigs of memory, a RTX 2070 GPU that used to be in my video editing system. I moved that over. I have a Ryzen 5 3600 that is the CPU for that. That's what's handling that right now, which could do all that by itself. But I'm pushing it to the web presenter, which is streaming it in 4K. Let me see. Mike was saying, be careful with OBS 28. I heard a lot of plugins don't work. Well, thankfully, on my main system that I'm on right now, my video editing system, this is my playground. So I'm not going to push OBS 28 to anything else yet. This is where I'll play on here because this doesn't affect anything. But thank you for the heads up. Yep, so everybody's saying that it's not working there. All right, Anthony, part 2, and Philip Paul, I see your comment. I'm going to go there. I'm there. How do I build out for future? We have a laptop, a MacBook Pro, and an ATEM Mini Pro. We're supposed to be getting PTZs remote and small. For future, honestly, I would go with an ATEM Mini Extreme, to be quite honest, which will give you the more inputs, give you the give you the multi-view, and give you an output, and will give you 2 USB connections and all that stuff. That would be my first thing to move to there. So Philip Paul was saying you're using OBS. For the layperson, I mean, honestly, the easiest thing is to try and make it so simple to where I would honestly color code everything in the back so that if you have to break down everything, you're connecting everything to the exact same port and everything again, so you don't have to worry about, like right now, if I unplug my stuff and plug it into a different one, it shows like it's a completely different ATEM that's connected. That's the first thing you want to do. Color code everything so everything is set up the exact same way so that it's no surprise if somebody else is coming there. I think the fact that you had to break it down, that's the first thing that I would do. Just get some stickers or a marker or whatever and just color code which jack everything needs to plug into so that's all the same. So OBS will always see the exact same thing. Your audio interface, your inputs, you got everything. That's the first thing I would suggest. Steve Hawkins, what's your thoughts about using Bluetooth PA speakers with your sound system at church? I don't think it's bad. I mainly don't use first off, the 2 speakers that I had on the floor at Signs and Wonders, those got blown because I think too much sound was being sent to them at a rehearsal and stuff like that. So I've moved over to different speakers, but those had Bluetooth. I don't like it because it gives an option in the potentiality of somebody being able to connect and have foolishness. That's the same way with the Google TVs. I don't turn on the Google functions because I don't want anybody to have the bright idea or tempt people with wanting to connect to it and stuff like that. But I think for like praise team, praise dancers that need to easily connect and not go through the sound system, they work. But in my current setup, I would not use that. Oh, but Steve, Christopher is saying that the audio lag is going to drive you crazy. Okay. I've been having issues sending the alternate output of Easy Worship via NDI to my Mac for my OBS stream. Like, is it not showing up? What's the details that you got with that? And just take a little break, folks. Hey, don't forget, folks, it's not too late for you to join us next year for our missionary cruise. That's April 24th through the 28th on the Liberty of the Seas, leaving out of Fort Lauderdale. The group code is still effective. You won't get the cruise credit, the room credit, but you can still get the those prices. So please consider joining. I think we got about 16 people going, and we ain't gonna have no meetings or nothing like that. We're just gonna sit back and relax, folks. Really want to have y'all there. Back to the question. It says the Mac doesn't see the NDI source and they're both connected to the network. Make sure that you don't have any firewall stuff on your Mac that's blocking it. For whatever reason, sometimes that has caused the issue. I would check that out. Yep. And I think Mike was saying kind of the same thing. Yeah. That's it. Well, alrighty, folks. Hey, thank you so much. Again, I would go on a little bit longer, but we got some stuff I got to do. I've officially completely moved out of the apartment, but for whatever reason, I had a return from Amazon and they delivered it to my apartment. So I got to go to the office and pick that up. Got to install some TVs. And I got to clean up the house because, like I said, I got a household of folks that are going to hang out with me for my birthday. I'm not going to be at Signs and Wonders this Sunday. I'm just taking a day and just going to be enjoying everything. Again, folks, I thank you so much. And I'm going to just give y'all a little tip. I think some of y'all know my dad passed in 2003. He actually died in my arms. And my dad accomplished a lot of things. But on his deathbed, all he did was talk about regrets for the things he didn't do. And that impacted me a lot. And I told myself at that time, I think I was 28, I believe. I told myself, and it took a while for me to kick in. I think it was when I hit 40, when I lived my life a certain way up to 40. And I said, I'm going to take a full advantage of all the promises that God has for me. And the next 40 years are going to be completely different. And God has been true to his word. My life is night and day different than how it was in the last 4 years. And I'm excited about other stuff. So again, folks, when you have that thought that came through your mind out of the clear blue sky of inspiration, most of the time, those thoughts are answers to prayers that we forgot that we prayed about. Y'all have so much potential in what you can do. And most of the time, we are standing in our own way. God's given us all these ideas that we can move to facilitate, to give him glory, but also to reach and impact other people. And I'm just thankful because, he hasn't been on this live stream in a minute, but I know that I was on God's path when Josh reached out at the age of 13 saying that I want to do what you're doing. That right there changed everything that I knew I was on the right path. And there's so many people that y'all don't know that are looking at y'all, that when you step out on God's plan that he has for you, you are going to affect so many people. All of y'all who've embraced and learned all this live streaming, there's so many people that you have never met that you have impacted. So don't ever think that what you're doing is not important. The people locally might not understand. If I paid attention to the local people that were telling me this was silly, I'd never be here talking to y'all. And again, I just want to encourage y'all, not just from a media ministry standpoint, but there's so much more potential that you have in yourself outside of just the media. There's so many businesses that are out there, and point blank, we need a whole lot more Christian influencers out there to help influence people and show that it's, listen to me carefully, not monetarily, not only monetarily, but it's profitable to do what God tells you to do. It puts you in different areas, in influence, in doors that you never would be in. And we need more people with good morals there doing that. So again, that's the long version of me saying, thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate everything that you're doing. I might not be a part of your local ministry, but guess what? You're a part of the body. And that's what really counts. Because when you win, we win. And I hope whatever I do here makes it your job a little bit easier and encourage you and give you some insight to know that, hey, whatever road you're on, there's other people who have done it as well. And thank you for you being you. Thank you for listening to the call. Thank you for the dedication. Thank you for all the work that you do day in, day out, not even on the day of service, but the days leading up, like coming on this live stream and getting some answers to questions that you may have. So thank you so much for that. Make sure, folks, that you don't miss out on the roundtable. Everybody who's been there, they've gotten something out of it, and we need you there. We want you there. So join the Facebook group, folks. Be a part of the 2,800 media ministries from all around the world with the same mindset to help each other reach and do everything else. Thank you again, Patreon supporters and YouTube members. I really appreciate all the support that you have done to help me do this. And I think that is about it. So I need to move this video up so I'm not getting cut out from here. But if you want to help support this ministry, this channel, folks, you can go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO. Get started for as little as $1 a month, or you can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member. We're working on doing more stuff to help out. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you're doing. We would miss something if you weren't here. If you weren't at your local ministry doing what you were doing, there would be something missing. So I'm glad you're there. Appreciate you. Love y'all. Y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you all are over the face of this planet. And we'll be seeing y'all in the next video. Later.